So good evening, everyone. My name's Amy Holmwood, and I'm really excited to be able to talk to you guys tonight about what my vision is for my business with Lifevantage, and also the subject of accountability. We're also going to be talking to one of my distributors. His name's Daniel Brafman, about the probiotic. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys and just kind of run through a few slides. Like I was saying a little earlier today, I had a training, and you know, we really are talking about accountability a lot in how we're growing our businesses, and how we're being responsible for our business and taking it seriously. I think you guys know that some of you guys know that I've had a background in financial planning, and I was an insurance producer for about 30 years and ended up hearing about Lifevantage about 4.5 years ago. And at the time, I really wasn't prepared necessarily to start another business, but I couldn't help myself. I couldn't sleep at night. I've always, thinking about all the people that needed to know about Lifevantage and Protandem. And I also knew that if I was going to start another business, it needed to be one where I could earn revenue in a similar way that I was able to in my insurance practice. And that was one where I could, when services were rendered in the past, I could get paid on those over and over again. And it's really hard to find businesses like that. And I talked about that today in some of the meetings I had earlier, just trying to paint the picture of really what this means to be part of a company that when you build it, that it will continue to pay you year after year, assuming that we do our job and we're professional, we're compliant, and we protect the company, we protect our products by the claims and things that we make, which is why it's so important to do training. But if this company continues to make the right moves, I believe we will be one of the most successful direct sales companies in the world, and for many, many decades to come. And I'm excited about that part of it, and I'm excited to be a leader in this company and to be representing the vision of Lifevantage. And part of that is, the responsibility that we have as business people to be able to lead this company in a way that, that represents Lifevantage. And really our mission, which I think has evolved, certainly since I've been in the business. It's evolved a little bit, but we're a community of life-minded people focusing on just one thing: making your life better today. And I really think that's a beautiful mission. I think that most companies don't have a mission of making your life better. You're a business owner in this company if you're a distributor. And the whole purpose of the company is to make your life better with our products, with our community, and with our business that can bring in a revenue stream that is pretty much unequaled in most businesses. And so when I looked at this, I thought, this is something that I can stand behind. This is something that I am proud to be a part of, and also to be part of the nutrigenomics revolution within the new economy. This is a digital economy. Bricks and mortar businesses are going down, and sales online are going up, and that's just the way it is. And technology is also changing the way that we can look at how we're aging. So being a part of this 1 million person movement, one story at a time. And you guys all know the story of Lifevantage, how it shifted from retail and how it ended up going into direct sales, because it is a one story at a time business. This sharing the word about nutrigenomics and sharing what that means, how dietary components and plants can change gene expression in the body. I mean, that's what we're about. And so being a professional businesswoman that's pioneering nutrigenomics is something that I think each of us has a responsibility, once we get this information, to be able to talk to people about. And we are just sharing information with people. That's what we're doing every day. We're not trying to convince people. We're just educating people on a new direction that's taking place in the wellness sector. And it happens to be an area that you can talk to everyone about. It doesn't matter if they're a doctor, a lawyer, if they're a financial advisor, if there's somebody that is a janitor in your son's building, at school, whatever, it doesn't matter. Everybody deserves to have this information. And Lifevantage, I know we don't have time to go through, and I know there's a lot of new people on, because I've invited a lot of new people on this, to go through really everything that we're about. But from a business perspective, we have 4 pillars that are the foundation of our business. Just every business has things that they're not negotiable in terms of how you build your business. If you're going to become a doctor, you have to go to medical school. You have to take the classes. You have to take the board exams. You have to continue to do continuing education. Those are non-negotiable things to be a physician. In Lifevantage and in the direct sales industry, there's certain things you must do to be successful in the business. And you don't have to follow these things, but if you do, it's very, very simple business. If you follow the pillars, which are the foundation or the bedrock of your business, you will be successful if you talk to enough people. The first one is the blueprint, and that is the system that we use that's inside your distributor kit. So everybody has their blueprint, and I think you all have probably, hopefully, if you haven't read it, pull it out again and read it. If you don't have a copy of it, go into your back office in the library and pull it up because it's fantastic. Then we have the event cycle. The event cycle is the different meetings and opportunity meetings, academies, global convention. These are events that we're bringing people to train people on how to build this business. We're also using those opportunities to educate people from other people besides us. This is a community that you have to be a part of to understand what's going on with this. You can't just hear about it from somebody else. You have to experience it. And if you don't go to those events, that's a pillar of your business, you will not be successful the way you could be if you did go to those things. So don't kid yourself that you're going to be able to take a shortcut here and not make the commitment to yourself to be able to be successful at this. We're not asking for that much. We're just saying, here's the things to do. The next are the core habits, and that's what I'm going to talk to you guys about. One of them is accountability. I'm going to talk about that. The core habits of being a successful business person. In this industry, there's certain things that you need to do to create core habits, just like any other business. And then professional growth and leadership development, which is also part of accountability. So these are pretty simple pillars, you guys. We're not asking you to go to medical school, okay, and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to build a business that's a wellness business that's going to literally change the world with the information that we're giving to people. So accountability, I wanted to talk about the team building part of accountability first, then I'm going to talk about some things you can do to be a good accountability partner. But one of the things that we have to do, even when we start, which is when we don't have a team, we're just one person, is we have to participate. We have to show up and participate as if we have something. So even if you don't have anything, you don't have any partners, you don't have any distributors, you don't have any preferred customers, you have to start showing up for yourself. And that is doing the trainings, offering to participate by adding, offering to do things, get engaged in the community. This is how you start to build your own leadership skills and being able to be a leader, which is really what each of us is. We're building our own businesses, you guys. We're building an empire. The more people that get this information, that when we share it with somebody else, this is what your role is, okay? You're like an ambassador, like a diplomat for Lifevantage. So you need to participate and get out and start engaging in these conversations. Decision-making and leadership. Even, again, if you're just getting started, make a decision about being a leader. And that means showing up for stuff. Even if you don't have anybody, show up for these trainings. Get involved, learn. Even if you don't like all of it, just listen to it. There's going to be something there. It's part of the pillars. Those are the core habits. And the personal development is being on the trainings, saying yes when somebody asks you to do something. And then as you start building your team, you're going to be getting feedback. Even if you already are a leader in this company, ask your teams if they like what you're doing. Say, hey guys, is this working for you? Let's have a conversation about this, because if you're not asking those questions, you're not going to have a team that has accountability, because they're not going to feel engaged in the process. They're not going to feel needed. So don't just assume that everybody loves what you're doing. And again, we're not asking people to tell us how to, we know we're using the proven plan. We're doing the same, all of us together are doing the same things, hopefully over and over again to duplicate. But we do want to get feedback to see if things are working. And so I think that's really important in building trust too. Take ownership over your business. You have been given something on a silver platter. It's called Lifevantage. It's called Pro Tandem from Dr. Joe McCord. Take ownership of your business and don't take it for granted. I'm hearing people. Let me try to see if I can mute some more. Don't take for granted what you have. I had a meeting with someone today, and it was really powerful because this fellow had to make a decision about whether he's going to come to Global Convention, which is April 19th through the 22nd, or whether he was going to, let me try to mute some more people here. Hold on a second. Or whether he was going to do a training for being a fitness trainer. And so, sorry guys, I just want to mute everybody. And so I said to him in the meeting, I said, I hope you don't mind. I'm not trying to pick on you, but I really want you to think about what's going to happen 5 years from now. That is, if you do the training for the fitness, which is a 4-day thing, versus doing the training at Lifevantage, okay, what's the outcome of that 5 years from now? What is it going to look like? What you're doing right now, this is taking ownership of of your life. What you're doing right now is going to set forth what happens 5 years from now. So if you want to do that and you think that's a better use of your time, okay, that's one option. The other option is to go to participate in one of the 4 pillars of a business, which you just signed up for, the Platinum Distributorship. And you're going to participate in something that the decisions you make right now are going to affect what your life looks like in 5 years. If you continue to make the decisions the way you used to, which might seem logical to go and do the fitness training thing that's going to give you a little bit more income at the gym versus Lifevantage, you're continuing the same pattern, which isn't going to change the outcome at the end of 5 years. So guys, we have to think about what we're doing right now. That's really important. So take ownership of the decisions that you're making, because you're the decision maker, and everything you do is going to set forth a domino effect of what's going to happen for you guys 5 years from now. And we have timing here. That window of opportunity is closing. And I said to him, you might think that it makes more sense to go and do that fitness training, but right now, other people you know that you haven't even called yet about Lifevantage, they're on somebody else's list. And somebody might get to those people before you do. You cannot sit on this, guys. Everybody has to, if you are already a distributor in this company, every day that goes by, you can't get your time back. Irretrievable time is flying. You can't get it back. So it's just, and that consistency too of thinking in that way. It's reprogramming your mind to think, what I'm doing right now, is that going to get me where I want to be in 5 years, which is hopefully at the top of this company. And if it's not, then don't do it, because this is what's going to get you that freedom. So, and then following through. I had another fellow at a meeting today. Actually, you're going to meet him tonight, Daniel. He's been calling this one guy for 1.5 years. The guy said, no, he didn't call him back. Today he showed up for a meeting because Daniel called him back. He followed through. He was accountable to himself and went back through his list and called people that he hadn't talked to in 1.5 years. And the guy picked up the phone and he said, you know what, this is really, I need to come to your meeting today. And he came. So this is the mindset of a leader who's going to build a team, is what the activities you need to do on a daily basis to be accountable to yourself. And, accountability to yourself is how you're going to get people accountable in a team to all work together, like the Navy SEALs. They know how to work together. They have accountability to each other. There's non-negotiable things. They would never miss an event. They would not do that because that would jeopardize the team, right? So being an accountability partner is really a good idea. And I don't know, when I started out, I had accountability partners. I don't have one right now. I could probably use one, honestly. I have some in mind, people who have asked me to do it. Find somebody that you can work with and that you can talk to about this. And then be honest, transparent to build trust. This is like, and it's good if it's somebody that's really not necessarily your friend. I think it's a very professional relationship if you can find somebody literally that you don't know that well to do it with, because this is how you want to be able to build trust in a relationship, is showing how you're going to show up for that person consistently. and then set goals and deadlines. And so, it might be making, okay, today we're going to get together. We're going to, even if we're not in the same town, we're going to schedule time to make calls, and maybe we can even do them together. So you'll have a call, exposures, 2 hours today, next week, whatever. Just get it on the schedule, make a decision to make calls, and then call each other up and say, how'd you do? What was the outcome of that? And support each other. And really, push the limits by making, bigger goals than you would normally make. Because again, if you're thinking of that mentality, when you wake up in the morning and you're thinking about your why and what that 5-year plan looks like, it's 15 exposures a month. Well, try 30 one time, or even go for 15 if you've never done it before, but actually do it. Don't just say you're going to do it, actually do it and see what happens when you do that. And when you have an accountability partner, it's going to be a lot easier for you to be able to do that. And then have your regular scheduled times that you check in with each other. So, this is like any other business. This is not, for me, it's not a hobby at all. I take this very seriously, and I don't want to lose this opportunity by letting time go by without taking action, because I know that I can't get that back. And I don't want to miss this opportunity. It's important. What we have, you guys, it's very important. And maybe it's not as important to you as it is to other people. And I think one of the things that is reflected, if it's not that important to you, then people will notice that. People will be able to feel that. And that may be a reason why your business isn't growing as fast as you'd like it to, because maybe you haven't made it as important. And that's reflected in just your whole signal. And I just want everybody to believe that they can do this. I think that's one of the biggest hurdles. And doing the accountability planning is going to help build your belief in yourself, because you're going to get results when you do this. And I think a lot of people question their ability to be successful in this industry. And I really firmly believe that anybody can be a Master Pro 10 in Lifevantage that goes through the system and uses the 4 pillars consistently. If each of us just would do that, our part, you will be tremendously successful in this business, because what we're offering is absolutely incredible. This is not something that people see every day. NERF2 activation, NERF1 activation, nutrigenomics. This is not a story people are hearing from anybody else. So you have something very, very special. And because maybe you haven't had success in another business to the level that you think you would need to be successful in this, is completely a lie that you're telling yourself, because you have something as long as you give the information to the right people. It's not about you. It's about the other guy getting the information, and you have no idea who's going to run with this. It doesn't have to be you signing up thousands of people. It might just be 5 to 10 runners that you end up on your team because you talk to enough people. So, being a cheerleader, obviously that's simple, of yourself, not just of your partner, but of yourself. Give yourself a pat on the back. Do something special for yourself once in a while, to say, you know what, you did a good job. This is really, you're breaking the mold. You're doing something different. You're doing something that is different, that you want to get a better result in your life. You're going to change. You have to do something different if you want something better. It's just how it is. So that's my piece on accountability. I hope that I've inspired you guys a little bit. I want to bring on Daniel Brafman. Daniel is a very dear friend of mine. I started working with Daniel as actually a coach for me. Daniel, I don't know if you've unmuted yourself. Are you there?
Here, yeah. Hello, everybody.
Yeah, so Daniel, he's really a specialist in kinesiology as well. I mean, his resume is incredible. Daniel was helping me. I've had Lyme disease for 20 years, and he was helping me with doing, with some of my structure and function issues with my body. And we became dear friends, and he was very skeptical. He's one of the smartest people I know in the wellness industry, hands down, particularly in the area of brain, gut, microbiome. He's just way ahead of the curve, and probably could have written a book like Brainmaker on his own. And I wanted him to share with you his vision of why our products are so amazing. And it took him 1.5 years to really come on board. And, because he just didn't understand what this business part. He loved the products, but he just wasn't sure he'd be able to do this. And Daniel, please come on. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time tonight.
Well, thanks, Amy. Everybody, I'm going to really kind of focus on Probio tonight. I am a full-on health missionary, and I really do make an effort to sort of see multiple dimensions of what works and what doesn't work simultaneously. And I can't think of a better way, to really look at health than what this product addresses. So this is really, about our gut health. And our gut is, people are kind of like plants, only different. Plants, they're stuck in their soil. We carry around our soil, but we still grow from our soil. We still grow from our guts. And without a healthy gut, you don't have health. And Probio is, it's just so forward thinking. It's a very good general probiotic in terms of, the diversity of the bacteria that are in it. But what's really important are a couple of other things besides that, because other people are selling, really good probiotics, but they're not getting them delivered to where they matter. You can have fertilizer, but if you keep it in the bag, it's not really going to fortify your soil. And the bacteria doesn't usually survive the stomach acid. So, having the Wellmune and having the BioTrack, the BioTrack makes sure that it's time released and that, a high percentage of the bacteria get to where it belongs. And that really matters. And then additionally, it also has the Wellmune, which also boosts the immune system. 80% of your immune system is actually a healthy gut. So, you really can't have health unless you have a healthy gut. So, and to take another view of this, I was sharing this with Amy earlier today. For those of you who are inclined to be a little metaphysical, look at why we all do this business. We are trying to live a better life, but it's also about our personal power and self-will. And where this, really focuses the health benefits. What Probio does is by creating a healthy digestive system, this is our own personal power and self-will at a biochemical level. This is us taking responsibility for our own wellness so that, when we show up as healthy as we can be, you can always rest satisfied that you're just delivering your best self to everything that you do. And if you don't really address gut health, and Probio does this, I'd say 90%. The other, thing that really has to be considered when you're getting these bacteria into the gut is feeding the bacteria. And we do that with the cleanse. There's a resistant starch in the cleanse. And so, you're not just getting the probiotic, you're getting the prebiotic. So you're populating the gut with what, will generally give a sense of wellness, and then you're feeding it. And just to sort of understand how important this really is in a general sense, people like Perlmutter and Dr. Jensen and some other people who have really been leaders in the microbiome world and in the gut-brain connection talk about their version of an 80-20 rule, which is that if you have 80% of good bacteria in your gut, the 20% will be taken care of by the 80%. Unfortunately, 99% of us are walking around with an inverted ratio of good to bad bacteria. And just like a culture, if you live in a place where there's more deviance, there's more bad stuff going on, just being in that space is going to keep you in a perpetual state of fear. And that's literally what happens when you don't have a healthy gut. At a cellular level, you're living in a state of fear, and that just really turns the heat up. We talk about us rusting out. We talk about us always being on fire. And this is one of the main, drivers of the fire in our body is an unhealthy gut, stimulates all the autoimmune conditions that we have. It's letting things out that don't belong out. Bottom line is that, if you want to be healthy, you want to bring your best self, to whatever you do, you've really got to be gut centric. As much as, we love to talk about Nerf 2, we'd love the Nerf 2 to be even more effective because we weren't so on fire. We'd like it to be taking care of the things we can't do anything about. And if you heal the gut, you're going to turn a lot of the source of the fire down so that you're going to be healthier with all the other products that we can bring to the party. So that's
That was fabulous, Daniel. You're always so eloquent. And I know you talked a little bit about earlier today how even the collagen, the beauty product,
Right.
is a nice component as well. That fish collagen.
Yeah, it heals the lining of the gut. So, you know, so you want to make sure that nothing's getting out that shouldn't be getting out, and you want to make sure that all of the processes inside the gut are happening. I mean, you know, we're 23,000 genes, but our gut is like 100 times more genes, and we're sharing that information with our biome. So either you've got this really West Baltimore kind of version of messaging all the time and saying, you know, really, you guys, every cell needs to be worried, or you have a really, you know, kind of a Montgomery County safe kind of place where it's like, hey, anything is possible. I get to get up and woohoo, you know, happy day. I get to have another day and another chance to play. You know, that's really the difference between a healthy gut and a not healthy gut.
Awesome. That's a good analogy. I know nobody knows Montgomery, and people from all over the world on this, but listen, thanks so much, you guys. And Sean and Michelle, I don't know if you guys are out there, but hopefully we helped, you know, give some good training for you guys tonight. And I don't know if there's any chats or if we even had a chat on here. Doesn't look like it. This is recorded and we'll be sending this out to everybody. Thank you guys so much. Have a great night. Thank you. Thanks, Daniel.
Thank you.